Welcome, I'm Julia Alderman, and today we'll be doing a Yoga Nidra practice to help to bring you back to the present moment. So Yoga Nidra is a meditation practice that is generally done lying down. So I've got some blankets and bolsters and cushions here, and these are things that I would invite you to get for the practice. So Yoga Nidra is classically taught lying down in Shavasana, so lying on the back. My experience is working with clients with trauma that often this position is not the most useful. Often it can feel quite open and therefore it's more difficult for the body to relax. So in Yoga Nidra, we want the body to feel completely or as much as we can to relax and release the body and the muscles. So just as we would adjust other yoga positions to suit and meet our own needs, likewise in Yoga Nidra, we can change the position to meet our own needs. So I'll guide you through a few of those positions, and you can then choose the one that feels right for you and most restful. So we'll start in the classical position, and you can see how that feels for you in your body and whether or not it feels like a helpful position. So classically, Yoga Nidra is taught with a folded blanket underneath the head, and it's done lying down in Shavasana, which is the classical position. So lying on your back, and you can take a bolster under the knees as well to help to release the lower back a little bit more. And the palms face the ceiling. So you can try this at home and see how this position feels for you. And if this position feels too open and exposed and the body cannot relax, then I would invite you to try the next position. So if that is the case, then you can come up. You can take a bolster or some cushions over to the side, and you can see how it feels lying on the side. So here you can bring the bolster in, so you've got support at the front, and you can rest the head, you can fold your blanket up, and you can rest in this position. And this can also be done with a wall at the back. So you've got support from the wall at the back and the bolster at the front. And if you want, you can also raise a knee and put it on the bolster as well. So see how this feels in your body and whether this feels like a restful position. And if that's still not your position, then you can try lying on the front. Some people prefer to practice Yoga Nidra lying on the front in a prone position. So you've got the support of the floor on the abdomen. And here you can rest the head on the hands or on a pillow. So you can try this at home and see how this position feels. And most people have a position that feels a lot more restful than another. And then our fourth position that we'll try is actually a seated position. So if the mind is very active, it can actually be really helpful just to be seated. But the invitation is to have a seated position where the back is supported. So you can soften the back into your support. So if you have a comfortable armchair, you can use that. Or alternatively, you can take some pillows, like I have here, and place them against a wall. Nestle yourself against the pillows. You can cross the legs as well, and rest the head. And this may be the most appropriate position for you. So, inviting you now to take one of these 4 positions, whichever one of these positions felt that the body could be most supported and most rested. So I'll be guiding you through a Yoga Nidra practice for the next 15 minutes or so. So taking your chosen position, and welcome to this practice of Yoga Nidra. And please see that you'll be warm enough. So if you want to take a blanket, please take a blanket. And if you want something covering your eyes, please take an eye covering, knowing that it's also fine to have the eyes slightly open. And knowing that if you need to move at any point in this practice, then you allow yourself to do so. Just observing the body, and observing the back of the head, and the back of the neck, and the shoulders, the spine, the back of the legs, and making any little adjustments that you need to make yourself just that little bit more comfortable now. And taking a couple of deeper breaths. And if it's comfortable, you can inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Three times in rhythm with your own breath. And with each exhale, sensing you can release the body a little further. Releasing tension a little further. And observing the rise and fall of the navel with each breath. The rise and fall of the navel with each breath. And on the next inhale, if it feels helpful, you can follow the breath, inhaling up to the height of the inhalation and exhaling down to the depth of the exhale. Just observing, just following the rhythm of your own breath. Inhaling up to the height of the inhale and exhaling down to the depth of the exhale. And maybe you can sense the turning points in the breath. That turning point, the end of the inhale before the exhale begins. And that turning point, the end of the exhale before the inhale begins. Just observing. And with each breath, sense that with each breath, you're drawing more and more of yourself back into your body. With each breath, drawing more of yourself back into your body. As you offer yourself this total gift of presence. And observing how the mind follows the breath, follows the spaciousness of the breath. And sense now that you feel fully settled and fully arrived in the practice of Yoga Nidra. And on the next exhale, inviting your awareness down into the center chest, behind the back of the breastbone. As you set your intention for this Yoga Nidra to bring you back to the present moment, here and now. Of being aware of any thoughts, just being aware of any sensations, just being aware of the touch of the air on the face, and being aware of any sounds, both near and far, and being aware of any fragrance, of any taste, just being aware of anything you can see, either with the eyes or any colours behind the eyelids. Just being aware of your full experience, here and now, just as you are, knowing that simply to be in the space of Yoga Nidra is more than enough. There is nothing to do, no one to be, just here in the space of Yoga Nidra. And now we will take the awareness around the physical body. So as I name each part of the body in turn, in your mind's eye, you can take your awareness to each part. And if it's helpful, you can imagine placing a drop of golden light in each part of the body. So bring the awareness to the third eye center, the space between the eyebrows, and placing a drop of golden light here. And down to the throat center, a drop of golden light here. And down to the collarbones, and over to the right shoulder, the right elbow, the right wrist, the right thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. And back up the right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, and back to the throat center. And taking the light over to the left shoulder, the left elbow, the left wrist, the left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. And back up the left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, and back to the throat center. And bring the awareness down to the center chest, the cave of the heart, and a drop of light here. Over to the right side of the chest, the left side of the chest, the center of the chest. And bring the awareness down to the navel, a drop of golden light here, and down into the pelvis, over to the right hip, the right knee, the right ankle, the right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. And back up the right ankle, the right knee, the right hip, and back to the pelvic center. And bring that light over to the left side, the left hip, left knee, left ankle, and the left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Back up the left ankle, left knee, left hip, and back to the pelvic center. Bring the awareness back to the navel center and up to the light in the center of the chest, the throat center, and up to the third eye center, in the space of awareness that is Yoga Nidra. Feel the whole body completely resting, whilst the awareness is awake in the body, and sensing the whole body filled with these points, these drops of golden light. Feel the right side of the body filled with golden light, and the left side of the body filled with golden light. And maybe you can sense both sides of the body together, filled with drops of golden light. And maybe you can sense the light shining above the body, in the space above the body, and also shining below the body, the space below the body. And maybe you can sense that both together, light above and below the body. And sensing the whole body was pervaded with space. It's also pervaded with the radiant light. And just sensing, how would that be? The whole body filled with that light of awareness. And then releasing that practice and bringing your awareness back to your breath. Just ever so gently, without changing the breath, just being aware of the breath, the natural ebb and flow of the breath. And maybe as the breath comes in, can be aware of the breath as it comes in through the nostrils to the throat, down into the chest. And as you exhale, how the breath travels the opposite way from the chest, the throat, to the nostrils. Inhaling, drawing the breath in, just observing the breath flow in and sensing how far the breath travels. Maybe it travels into the throat and the chest. Maybe it travels a little further down into the abdomen before exhaling and traveling back up to the chest and the throat, back to the nostrils. Just observing this natural flow of breath up and down the midline of the body. As if the body were being gently rocked by the breath. And then releasing that and returning to a natural breath. And bringing your awareness back to the center chest, behind the breastbone. And in this space of awareness that is Yoga Nidra, coming back to the present moment. Coming back to any sensations in the body. Just being aware of any sounds, near or far. Just being aware of the touch of air on your face. Just being aware of any fragrance, any tastes, anything you can see, either with the eyes open or behind the closed eyelids, any colours. Just welcoming in your whole experience, just as you are. And then taking a couple of deeper breaths. Deeper breaths in and deeper breaths out. As you begin to transition more back into an everyday state of awareness. And a couple of deeper breaths in and deeper breaths out, as if reawakening the body. And with each breath in, sensing how the breath connects you to this present moment. So that as you go about the rest of your day, feeling more and more present, connected to the breath, connected to your present moment. And then welcoming in any movements that want to arise. You may want to roll the wrists or the ankles, or to stretch the arms over the head. So welcoming any movement that arises. And then on the next exhale, you can roll to one side if you're not already. And in your own time, carefully coming up to a seated position. And you can join the hands together and give yourself thanks for this practice as we come to a close of this practice of Yoga Nidra. This practice is now complete. Thank you.